Good morning, Magic 100
Why did you
listeners.
say so many goods?
Triple good. It's a triple good morning.
Okay.
And we're glad you joined us for us, and mostly for our listeners, and our viewers.
I just wanted that
I
clarified.
mean, can you imagine the joy of seeing three faces like this on the air? We were on Forsyth cable television. We were on Magic 100 on the radio. And you have joined the most popular TV radio show in all of Monroe County.
And you're your own producer. I don't think some of our critics know how low budget this process is.
They probably know.
You know what I think we ought to do one day? I really do, on the next show, is I think we all ought to wear coat and ties.
That'd be nice. Maybe for our anniversary edition.
Yeah, and wear shorts.
I think it's our 5th anniversary of shorts.
So as long
Yeah,
as
I think I told you last week, I've been on a lot of television shows and sit there and see the announcers all dressed up in coat and ties, and they stand up and
we all have on shorts.
they all have on shorts or underwear.
Well, the way those hot TV lights beat down on you, you can see why. I mean, you sweat.
No kidding.
But we don't have that problem.
I'd say no.
We're in the nice, cool conclave here of the reporter. As Don likes to say, we're on the porch right here.
No, I do not say we're on the porch. You always like to say that.
We're inside.
You know what we ought to do? Just
Around
for the
the
heck
table.
of it one day. Just for the heck of it one day. Do the radio show out there on your bench.
We could
You
do
know,
it.
then you could legitimately call it on the
We'll
porch.
run an extension cord, but let's wait till the weather gets a little
How
cooler.
about we get a live viewing audience if we went outside?
That's true.
Yeah, that could. And we could have people clapping. Hey, we could sell tickets.
Just like the Today Show on the streets of New York.
I think that's pretty much what would happen.
Or we can bring Diane here to clap when we say something good.
We wouldn't need to. Anybody coming out of Pickled Okra over there would probably stop to see what the heck they're doing out there.
Yeah.
Well, folks, a lot going on. Summer is over. Fall actually began, is it September 21st?
Fall has fell.
Fall's falling, as is it, what day is it?
It fell this past month. What's today?
Today's
Thursday.
the 20.
Today
Today's the
is
21st.
fall fell today.
Today, as we record this, fall has fallen.
Man, it's cold outside.
Does that mean that the day and nights are equal now? Is it 12 hours of daylight? 12
Well, dude, what do you think's gonna happen?
He doesn't like hard questions. I thought you went to university. I thought you had a college education.
I do.
I think that's about right.
Is
But
it?
at the University of Georgia, you didn't study that either. What you study?
I took weather and climate, and
Is this what you studied?
yeah, I did weightlifting, curls,
Uh-huh.
beer curls.
Uh-huh.
Anyway,
All right.
where are we
We're
gonna?
through having fun. We're gonna get serious.
It's been a crazy couple of weeks in Monroe County. We had the Hurricane Irma came through, and well, the remnants of it, and we had an evacuee situation, and we had this play. I bet this county had the biggest population it's ever had.
Yeah.
When we
That's
had
correct.
streams of cars of Floridians, and it was a good time because Monroe County showed its
They
hospitality
really
and
did. I'm gonna tell you.
Southern Grace.
They just came out of the woodwork.
and took care of. The For City made bags, goodie bags for all the visitors to the hotels. The churches opened their doors, several churches as a place for evacuees, and finally we're back in the routine. Last week they had to cancel Mary versus Homecoming. It was postponed until October, so it was just a crazy time. But we're finally getting kind of back in the routine done. And one of the
That scares me.
yeah, because that means you know what that means.
Some
That's
of
right.
the classes had their reunions though.
Yeah.
Even though because they were had them planned already.
Class of
Which I didn't really think about. But
Class 2007 was there. I think they had about 7 of their members were showing. And,
Well, I want to talk about something.
let's go.
I've got a bet. I'm gonna place a bet.
Please.
Richard, heck of a good story about the big landowners losing their dispute on paying taxes. So here's what I bet you.
Thank you,
right
Will,
now.
for all the archive stories that I can't go through that story.
Well, I'm sure you had to do, but I will bet you right now that this land dispute tax thing will go on as long as the county line.
Yeah, if you read,
Because the only thing you got to say is those big money landowners got upset with their attorneys in Atlanta, and I'm sure that they will hire an Atlanta attorney group. And guess what? Monroe County's gonna have to pay through the nose too, to hire a big time law
I
firm.
think the statute that allows for if the landowners win for the county to have to pay their legal fees is the only reason this thing's continuing on.
That's right.
If they knew they were gonna rack up
That's
more
right.
legal fees, they'd have to pay on their own. There's no way they would continue for the amount of money it's the state.
But Richard, now come on, they also had to fork out a lot of money to hire them Atlanta lawyers to defend them. Yeah.
They did, but they would have been paying for it had they won.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I think Richard heard from his many sources inside the county government that their attorney had pretty much conceded this is over, and now we were talking to Otis Ingram right before we went to press, and he's quoted at length in the story, and he says this is not over. We're not having an attorney.
What did I say?
Because his attorney might have told him that's what he thought, and that was
What did I say? It's going to go on and on and on.
What a waste of resources.
But like I said, that's only
What, to
because
me, what a waste of
they won.
mentality. But no, I didn't agree with that.
It's a litigious thing, and
What's that word you use?
a lawsuit happy. I don't understand it, but yeah, I think you're right, Don. There's a chance. I think that they've got deep pockets here. They've got nothing.
Right.
There's no reason for them to just cash in. And,
No.
but will they have to? Here's my question.
Okay.
And I don't know if
Richard can answer.
the county was working on this, but they're going to have to put, under state law, Don, as you know, you pay 85% of your
That's
tax
right.
bill while you appeal. And I
That's
think
right.
Richard said it's for 3 years. So all these parcels are paid up to 85%. So now, do these landowners have to pay the remaining 15% for those 3 years? Or are they going to appeal somewhere else?
They're going to appeal somewhere else.
They're going to appeal somewhere else before they actually pay it, but
Why now, Richard?
they'll end up appealing somewhere else before they
Back to
actually
the Court of
pay it.
Appeals. Will the Court of Appeals even hear tax assessment? I think they'll say no.
We all know how the legal process works in Monroe County.
As long as the lawyers want to keep on, they'll keep on.
Keep on keeping on.
It's not just
And
Monroe County.
it will be longer than Kemp.
I think
It'll be longer than Kemp.
if the county's not expecting to get those proceeds, that's better than if they were to go ahead and pay them and then have to have them paid back
True.
later.
Yeah,
True.
because they won't have the money.
True.
They won't have the
Unless
money.
they will spend it.
True.
Well, you know what? I should have gone to law school.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know.
Hey, I've got another question to ask y'all.
You would
It
have
was
sit through
something-
that every day.
Yeah, I don't know. The money
I
is
don't think you have
worth
the attention span.
Richard, what is this about them building the fire station and tearing down the fire station?
That's what evidently is going on. No, they're turned it over to the Department of Corrections. When Donnie Mercer was the fire chief, he had his
Right.
own volunteers, and
Right.
his own fire people
Right.
out there building the fire station to save the county money. But now they've decided that probably because Matt Perry was obviously reluctant to build at that location, it sounded like.
He was looking at plans at the
He
industrial.
probably wasn't as willing to go out there and build it himself. So they've now
In the industrial park,
225.
let's take it, no, come on, you're being,
This is the most.
Yeah.
This might be the most Monroe County story ever. Volunteer firefighters pour a foundation, and the policy, and Larry Evans gets mad and goes and digs it up.
that's right. What got me was Larry Evans is, what did he classify himself as?
I don't know.
In charge of the project
Project manager,
something like that. And they poured the concrete and that's what I saw on Facebook, they went in there and totally annihilated.
Yeah, there's nothing but dirt out there now.
Oh, Jesus.
Because they wanted a metal building.
Yeah, they've changed the scope of the building apparently.
Try to save money. It's
It was gonna be
brick
front.
and mortar.
Yeah,
Oh, sheesh.
but I mean,
Come on, people.
they changed fire chiefs in the middle of the process, which doesn't seem like the most logical thing to do.
Yeah, good point.
Well, but again, here was a very classic example of the volunteer firemen going out working because they were proud to do something for the county. And something got stuck in Larry Evans' craw and he says, tear it up.
That's
Anyway.
accurate, I think. The true description of what happened, Richard.
I think maybe they jumped the gun. So from what I've heard.
Here's what you
Well, no, what I'm hearing, but
Okay.
I've heard it in the past. Was what I was getting to.
Well,
That maybe the firemen weren't supposed to be out there doing their own work. That was kind of a freelance decision without the commissioners never voted to allow
I guess
them to go out
that
there
means
and
if
do
I
that.
go out there and mow my right of way, somebody will come along and say, hey, don't mow the right of way. Oh, jeez, come on, man.
the most exciting thing about this whole thing is when they finish the fire station, is that I won't have a traffic jam on Montpelier Road waiting for the ambulances to back into the parking lot after they go to lunch.
Oh,
Well, they could because they hadn't been totally decided they're going to move out of that building yet.
Oh,
There
really?
may still be a station that's an option.
but it won't be nearly as many.
Won't be nearly as many, but I mean, it is on the opposite side of the railroad tracks and the interstate from the one they're building. I don't know if it's completely logical to just disband that
I think I'm
station.
gonna change the name of it from Station 1 to
Yeah.
1.5.
Well,
No,
it'd be
they're gonna
something
change the name to Larry Evans Project.
different. Probably be 15 or whatever the next one is they haven't used, but.
All right, let's get this politics out of the way. Richard and I sat there during the county commissioners,
Well, that was
the
politics
increase
we
on-
just discussed.
It's all,
Okay, something
you
different.
can't take the politics out of the
All
politics.
right.
is that, this is very important to you people out there in radio land. The county's gonna increase our millage rate, but the good thing about it, they've increased the millage rate. But if they decide after going over crunching numbers that they don't need to increase the millage rate, then they don't have to increase it.
I don't think they're gonna lower it this time.
I don't think they are either.
They used to.
Well, last year I thought they would too, and they didn't, so I don't think they're going to this time.
I think it'll pretty much stay where it is.
They've got some obligations they've got to meet. Is that correct?
Well, the citizens voted for one of those obligations.
That's right.
Bill for the tax for the.
They don't have to approve it, and that's not part of their millage rate, though, really, is it?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, so built into that increase, that 1.3,
1.5.
1.5 increase. So the one bill that includes the hospital one.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Probably half other than that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I missed that part.
Yeah.
Excuse
Why
me.
don't you-
They would like to
Yeah.
lower it to that 1 mil,
Yeah.
But
but I don't think they're gonna be able to get that up. Not
I
looking
don't
right.
think so either.
Well, look, if you saw what Bibb County's tax bills have already gone out. I know their commissioners went up 3 mils,
Right.
and I heard the school board was gonna go 3 mils. I never saw a follow-up story on what the school board
I
did with
didn't.
tax
I don't know
rates.
what the school board did then.
So, I think,
Interesting.
if they followed through, that would be a 6 mil increase, while we're having a 1.5 mil increase. I think you're gonna continue to see.
Well,
more
there's something
movement
else
in
that's just bugging me.
Oh, please share it.
And
I
we
ain't
still got a
gonna-
hospital. Go ahead.
Is it, this is something that I have tried, I've talked about it, written about it and everything. Why in the world don't we have a county business license? And I guess Larry Evans is taking Jim Ham's place, is it say, hey, no business license.
And I'm with you on that.
It's just, to me,
No
it's
telling how
just,
many businesses we have been running
that's
out
right.
of people's houses
Yeah.
and gardens.
What's wrong with that?
No.
They're trying to make a living.
no.
Even though shut down the little lemonade stand because they don't have a business license?
Well, come on, get off that, but there are a lot of businesses
They
operating.
don't meet health codes.
Yeah, there are a lot of businesses operating in Monroe County that you don't know even exist.
Which reminds me, everybody's celebrating because this ticket broker over at Lake Oconee and Eatonton got arrested
That's
because
the kind of business I'll be shutting down.
the sheriff
That's exactly right.
of Putnam County, his name,
Howard said.
Howard Sills.
He was operating in the wrong county.
And still, people were up very upset at this ticket broker.
It seems like the kind of case Sheriff Sills would be really
They give it
That's
up. That's what his peeps wanted to
He's
do.
still,
So these people spend thousands of dollars on these Georgia Notre Dame tickets. And
Well, where'd you buy your tickets?
My dad got them online. See, if you buy from StubHub or somewhere, that's a guaranteed deal. They've got extras. They say, well, if this guy follows the
Where were
second row, they were amazing. But
Alright, so back to this guy.
back to this guy. He, he said, I'm gonna lock his ASS up.
Mhm.
And you know how he locked the, if he refunded those people the money, I mean, I don't know what the case is. They may have a civil case against him, but I don't know what the criminal case. Well, now we know the criminal case, though, the way they arrested him was failure to have a license to sell tickets.
That's exactly what
That's
I'm
always
trying to say.
that's any scalper, that's the,
But why in the
Exactly.
state of Georgia do you have to have a license? And see, I'm very encouraged because two guys
if
are
you're not
running.
selling at face value, I mean, you can sell whatever you want at face value, but
That's
now
right.
you're stealing from the university.
Well, if I have, if I have 2 extra tickets to
I'm
this
not saying I haven't
weekend,
done it before, but
I think it's ridiculous that you would need a license to sell a ticket at profit. If, this,
If you are operating a ticket business, you should have a
it's
license.
illegal.
Bottom line.
It's like
That's
operating
right.
a casino.
we don't need any more barriers to people doing free enterprise and making them try to
Free
make a living.
enterprise, right.
Not free enterprise.
That's not free to get the pay.
Business license doesn't stop you from doing free
You're not the
enterprise.
one putting on you're not the AD
Let's get on it,
putting
buddy.
the,
Come on.
You got 2 candidates for Secretary of State. who are promising to roll back some of the ridiculous licensing requirements in Georgia, and I say amen. If a lady wants to go cut hair, why does she need a stupid license?
Well, she has to go to school, and first of all, she has to go
She
get
might
a
be
license
getting
to
bad
cut
haircut.
school.
Well, I mean, a lot of people get bad haircuts. Don't you think people are smart enough to figure out?
No.
No.
Well, see, there's your problem. You think people are stupid, so you want government to do
No,
it.
I did not say people were stupid. I've always said this about government. When we don't regulate ourselves, we become regulated. 100%.
There's some truth. There's definitely some truth to that.
It's 100%
Well,
true.
Don and I were having lunch the other day with a business owner in the county who said he had to have license requirements to bid on a project, and we didn't have one in the county, so he had to go to the city of Forsyth. The requirement in his business is not in the city of
That's
Forsyth.
exactly right.
That's just about stupid.
You know, it is, again, I've always said that we needed business licenses in the county. The city has business licenses, but it's not a form of regulation. It's, hey, we know what the hell is going on in the county.
I mean, I would say on like the ticket scalper thing, if somebody's selling 2 tickets for $20 over, the police are gonna look over that. You might be violating a rule or
That's
a
right.
law, but they're not gonna do anything. If you're somebody like that guy, that's where that law comes into effect.
That's exactly right.
If he is,
All right,
if
we're
he's not
not beating this dog. This dog is dead.
it's a civil issue.
This dog is dead. The ATV ride, I heard was just fantastic.
Yeah, we had some photos in this week's paper. It's been 3 years since Michael Norris was
It
killed.
doesn't
Actually,
believe like it. It doesn't even seem
I
like it's been that
remember.
long.
You remember when you heard? Did you hear about it at home?
Yes.
I got
had 2 or 3 phone calls.
I got a text message, and I can't remember who it was from. I was on the way back from a soccer game in Savannah, and just an awful pit in my stomach when they told me one of the deputies may have died, because immediately I know some of them, and you immediately wonder who
sure
was
do.
it. And then you find out this young man, one of the youngest deputies we have, a young man just married, and
Who'd been on the front page of our paper that very week.
yes, for
That's right.
wrangling a horse on the side of the interstate, and Michael was.
I think it's such a great way to honor him, and it's just, we have to honor dedication,
That's right. And his parents, of course, don't want him to be forgotten. They're very proud of him. And
Did they put the
his
monument
sacrifice.
up? Did they put the monument up down in Columbia?
They did. It's right there at the 341. The highway there is named in his memory. And, of course, we have the scholarship. Funds go toward a scholarship every year to a young Monroe County youngster who wants to go to college and be in law enforcement. Try to encourage
That's
people.
great.
It's good they don't have much traffic in that spot though, because it's one of those places where it forks, and if you don't know which way you're going, that monument
Well,
is right there in the middle.
It gets a lot of traffic in peak season.
Yeah, Culloden gets to be a real boondoggle. If you're coming north from Culloden up to the roundabout and you want to go to Forsyth,
You have to take a roundabout.
you have to take you're supposed to take a right. Now, I'll admit right here on the air that I have gone up the one-way area up to 341.
Citizens arrest! Citizens arrest! Citizens arrest! We've got it. We've got him admitting it. He's already the law.
Governor Powell is in the house.
That's right. Citizens arrest.
All right. This weekend, if you're looking for something to do, today at 2 o'clock at the Rose Theater, they're having a murder mystery. Hey, they have it today, Richard?
Yep.
Sunday? Yeah.
Tomorrow starts Friday night. Yeah, today's Sunday.
Yeah.
Friday, Saturday,
Yeah,
Sunday.
Opens Friday. The shows will be September
Yeah,
22nd,
shows.
20. Oh, there is no Sunday show. 22nd, 23rd. And then that's Friday and
Okay.
Saturday.
Friday, Saturday.
Well, here's the question. I got
Wait a minute, I was wrong. There is a
I
SmackDown.
think there is.
The 24th at 2:30. So today at 2:30.
Show up at the
We're going to go
Rose
see
Theater.
wonderful community
You
theater.
gotta participate.
And you get to participate this time. It's not just sit there and watch. You got to
You
figure
got
out.
to kill somebody?
You figure out who killed somebody.
Oh, you got to
Yeah.
kill somebody.
No, you're pretty good at that. You like
That's
to play
right.
sleuth.
That's right.
Richard, we have a new assistant district attorney. Tell us about her. She has been
Miss
hired.
Bobby.
Yeah, I wasn't familiar with her. I'm sure people in Bibb County probably are. She's been there for years, but she worked she assisted with the Christopher Calmer case. It was Michael Norris's murder back in June, and that was her first foray into Monroe County Talladega Circuit law. And not surprisingly, I guess she's been added to the staff.
No kidding.
Longtime Chief Assistant DA Mark Daniel was retiring at the end of October. And Elizabeth she took her job formally, I guess, on September 8th, and she'll be assisting Mark for a few weeks until he retires, and then she'll take over as the chief
But
assistant.
she's going to also have to take over if Jonathan goes bye-bye.
Correct, and I don't think that's if, I think it's when.
Yeah, when is
So,
Jonathan,
the current
Jonathan is our
attorney-
district attorney, when's he going to Iraq, Afghanistan?
Let's explain to the listeners what bye-bye means.
Yeah.
He's
He's not,
going over.
he's not resigning.
He's going
He's not
overseas.
resigning, he is, what rank is he, colonel?
Lieutenant Colonel.
Lieutenant colonel, but anyway, he's got to go serve some time out there in the desert, fighting ragheads.
Yep.
Okay.
We can say that. Yeah, we can say that. And he.
If we can say Rocket Man, we can say
There
raghead.
you go. There you go. I thought it was towel heads, but whatever you want to call it.
They call raghead.
All right, well, let's make it edited. Anyway.
Jonathan Adams has been I think, a big improvement to our district attorney's
Wow.
office. He is very sharp, young man, military background, been in the Guard forever, and thought when he ran for DA that his time in the Guard, he could just kind of wind it down, and he got moved to a different unit that deploys, and he was shocked, he said, when he got the notice, but after being elected district attorney, he's having to go to the
They're
police.
not called ragheads.
Well, he's got, let's
They're called sandmen.
I thought you were saying Kimball junkies.
Yeah, that's a good one.
he's got 2 weeks of court starting Monday, so I guess we'll see if he actually tries the case.
By the way, is Chalmer, or whatever his name is, he gonna get juiced?
He's not.
He's not.
We decided
Boy, that was, I
back
still
in
can't-
June that,
That's right, he's not gonna get juiced or electrified,
he's gonna
huh?
be headed
That still's a
to
kick
prison
in
for a long
That's a
time.
kick in the gut when you bring that back up. I forgot
I know.
about that.
Anyway,
Makes me so mad.
it makes me so mad too, but, anyway. Well, what else we gonna talk about? How much more time we got?
We got about 7 minutes. We need to talk about sports. The Mariposa
Yes.
Bulldogs had their toughest contest.
Hey, you won the bet on that, dude. You predicted that they weren't gonna win.
Not sure, well, I think a lot of people did. Most
I'm trying to
most
give
people around
you,
here just aren't willing to say it,
I'm
but
trying to give you some credit.
thank you.
You predicted.
I was wrong about the Falcons, but darn it, I knew Peach Game was gonna be there.
Yes. Hate to be right, but
But, well, what else is coming up in sports?
well, they've got the
Who
week
they call
off.
this
It's
past?
been a bleak year for the fall team so far, except for Justin Wachtel. He's been our,
Yeah.
we have a cross-country superstar.
You took a picture of somebody from married persons that played in the Georgia game, made some tackles.
Malik Herring.
Who?
Malik Herring. That wasn't my picture, but yeah,
Oh,
Malik Herring.
I thought you got a photo credit on that.
No, I didn't take that one, but
He took one of Jake Fromm 2 weeks ago. We
I
featured.
took some of Malik before.
How many
I took
pictures you take?
Well, at that game, 500 or 600.
Where did you stand? You built sidelines.
You filled up your SIM card, didn't you?
Yeah.
That's one of the few pleasures of being a newspaper man. We get to go stand on the sidelines at Sanford Stadium.
Yeah. Anyway, what else is going on in fall sports? Everything?
Well, the Bulldogs are off this week, but next week, what's happening next week?
We're gonna go to Spalding, trip to downtown Griffin.
Begin our region play, where we'll try to win our third straight
Yeah,
region
we haven't
title.
lost a region game since the final game in 2014.
We haven't lost a region game, you said?
We're on a 10-game
That's incredible.
streak in the region.
That's
Here's a question for you.
It's not too incredible. Have you seen them?
Don't we play Thomaston R.E. Lee?
We'll play Upson Lee. RE Lee merged with Upson, me.
Do they still call it R.E. Lee?
No, they don't. That's what I'm saying. It's Upson Lee.
They beat Antifa to it. Before Antifa could hound them, they dropped the Robert E. Lee. Did you hear that Robert E. Lee's church? It was called Robert E. Lee, I think it's Episcopal Church, and it changed its name. And you know what the vote was?
I don't know.
3-2. Which is a commentary on the decline of the Episcopalian Church for surrendering
No, I don't want to get started on this. Let's talk about how much dirt we got on the ground or something.
The fire station?
Yeah. Dude's trying to be ugly.
Fall sports, softball got a big win the other night.
Who did?
Softball team.
Two big wins, huh?
Was this the ladies or the boys or the girls?
This was
What's this
girls.
about that
Boys
MP
don't
graduate running on a marathon or something?
Where?
Fifth at Great MP girls cross country.
Kayla Dale.
All right.
5th out of 9.
Yeah.
Right in the middle.
All right, here's a question that I got to know. What fall sports are going on?
Well, that's what I was trying to tell you, but We got softball, we got volleyball. We just started competition cheerleading on Saturday with a big victory at Houston County.
Okay.
And then cross country and football.
When is basketball?
But all the JV middle school teams are struggling right now, so it hasn't been a real exciting
Poor
season.
C-team, gosh, for the poor football team in middle school.
When does what start? Baseball?
No, I don't remember.
Basketball.
When does basketball
After
start?
Thanksgiving.
Richard, you had a very interesting story in this week's paper about the county trying to help get Zaxby's, and we kind of reported this, but what's the update on that? Is Zaxby's really coming to Forsyth?
I think Zaxby's is coming to Forsyth. But it's not just Papa John's and Huddle House. It's gonna be a little travel plaza there.
Good, gracious to live in.
Well, you know, we've talked about this before. We don't have anything on the northbound lane.
Yeah.
You know.
We do have a lot of pizza, but we're gonna have one more.
Yeah, have one. You know, how many pizza places we got now?
It's 5 if we get Papa John's.
Oh, jeez, man.
But I love pizza.
We're going to have to learn to speak Italian. Yeah.
I like pizza. I like pizza.
Do you like pizza?
I do. But
What's your favorite pizza topping?
pepperoni.
Pepperoni? I like ground beef.
I do too. But
That's my favorite.
And if y'all, of course, we have Jonas here in town. This is very good pizza. I think Marco's is good, but we really like DB's Pizza in Barnesville. I don't know. Have you been there, DB's?
Yeah, you and I, we ate up there.
We went there one time. I remember that.
Did she sell that place or go out of business?
No, she's still going. Are you?
Okay.
Are you on medication this morning? You're on a roll.
Which medication?
I don't know if it's working.
I tell you what, after dealing with you two, I need some medication. You know, I need some medication. Tell you what, dealing with you two, I'm gonna tell you something.
Now, the county has, we talked about the county is raising taxes a little bit. They've also borrowed some money. You had that story. How much money did they have to borrow?
that's becoming an annual
Oh,
occurrence.
that's not news.
$2.5 million for
To tie us
tax
up
anticipation though.
Until
Until
the-
till December.
to the property tax.
They talked about
That
doing
ain't
split.
news.
They talked about doing
Every
split
year.
billing for a long time, and that would help with that, where that didn't have to happen.
Stagger it.
But we haven't done enough people in the finance office at this point to really do anything like that.
Okay.
So, still gonna keep having to borrow money.
Those property tax bills will go out in October, a couple of weeks.
No, is it
By the
not?
end of October.
By the
really.
end of
October
So,
20th or 18th.
So stand by for those. And while we never like tax increases, just remember that Bibb County property owners are getting absolutely drilled. And
Well, are we raising our taxes to keep them big counties out of Monroe County?
we raise it at 1.5 mils. They're raising it about 6 mils. So
Right,
and they're already 3, 4, 5 mils higher than us. So no, we can't keep up with that. But thank God for Plant Share, and it continues to be.
You better be saying it every day.
Yep, and we'll have in a couple of weeks, folks. Stay tuned. We'll have a big section dedicated to the opening of deer season. That's always big around Monroe County.
You know, Monticello does that, and boy, they have a
Deer
big
Festival,
orchid.
yes. Which we really should do because we have one of the best taxidermists around in Rodney Castile and also in Kel Joseph right here in Smar. And we have one of the best deer meat processors in Ernest Thomas and his.
Do you know all this from experience? Did you kill a deer yet last year?
Working on it.
What did
I said, did you kill a deer last year?
No.
So you're being you're anticipating,
As
right?
if I wasn't embarrassed about that enough, I just got an email of a 4-year-old who shot a deer with a huge buck with a bow. And I'm sitting there going, I had to.
Well, maybe you ought to take a boat out there.
Maybe he can take me hunting. I can learn from the 4-year-old.
Yeah.
That's a Monroe County. That's the most Monroe County thing ever. Right after destroying the foundation of the firehouse.
Yeah, the deer pictures are gonna start coming out in the
I
report.
love it.
Yeah.
Well,
Is Monticello's Festival one of those square festivals?
Yeah, it's on the
They have something every Saturday.
Yeah.
They have a farmer's market on the square.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, it's just super
It looks like
nice.
everybody comes out there to those.
Yeah.
You have to go past it to find the good stuff, though. You have to go all the way to Shadydale to get the best boiled peanuts.
Yeah, I've never stopped there, but I've heard you talk about
Ooh,
it so many
Shadydale
times. I
Peanuts,
think
let me
about
tell you
it.
something, there's a barbecue place in Shadydale too.
Light your fire.
Ooh,
At the corner,
left,
on the
yeah.
intersection.
yeah.
We're out of time, folks. Thank you for
No,
joining
we
us.
enjoyed it
This
today.
is the
I
report.
won't be with y'all next week, so y'all can say bye.
Don will be calling in from Colorado for an update on the ski
Okay.
conditions in the Rocky Mountains.
Bye, y'all.
Have a good week, everybody. Thanks for joining us. This has been the Reporter on the air, on the radio, and on television for Forsyth Cable and Magic 100. Have a good week, everybody.